the day, I see better than I hear. He says he's going to change. He's going to change the way he does things. He's going to change the way he behaves. I'm good with that. We'll see. Only time will tell if Ja is sincere in what he's saying. Only he knows in his heart of heart if he's sincere. So, Skip, look, this is a clear opportunity for this to be a turning point in Ja's career. Because he lost, as Jen mentioned earlier, he lost $600,000. It's not what he could have lost. Okay, power age, maybe say they pulled the ass. They didn't say they're terminating the deal. Maybe they revisit this in a year. Hopefully they put him on a probation period. You learn your lesson. Let's come back and show a reverse of Ja Morant. Nike hadn't gone away yet. He didn't get suspended for 50 games or the NBA. I mean, they probably could have avoided his contract. So what he lost as opposed to what he could have lost, consider himself lucky. Okay. So let that be a lesson learned. I hope Ja, everything he said, I hope he sincerely believes it. And he executes that plan. I'm happy that he's back because I want to see. He said he wasn't worried about anybody in the West. I didn't want Grizzlies to have an out where we have Ja, we had Ja, Skip, yada, yada, yada. I'm glad he's back because I want to see just how worried he is about the West. I want to see it.
Well, that was his infamous quote, right? Okay. I'm going to read a couple of his quotes from yesterday to Jalen Rose. He says all the incidents that piled up about him, that all that doesn't describe Ja as a person. He went third person himself. It doesn't describe Ja as a person. I'm a totally different person than what's been shown in the media, said Ja about Ja.
How do we Skip? The media, all the camera does is capture what you do. It doesn't look, that's Ja Morant, so let's put him in a positive light. That's Ja Morant, let's put him in a negative light. You behaved in a manner, so the cameras capture that. The cameras capture Steph Curry doing positive things. Capture LeBron James doing positive things.
Many times. Yeah. And yet, you captured yourself on your own camera on IG Live. It wasn't cell phone camera from innocent bystanders or observers. It was you on IG Live who dangled the gun, and it was concluded by the NBA you were intoxicated.
Right. So it's the media's fault that they uploaded and put it on their site and talked about it.
And then he sort of vaguely discussed 4 recent incidents, fairly recent incidents, that these are piling up fairly quickly. And he said, but all the incidents you've seen recently, most of them is a lie. Okay? Maybe so, but there's some pretty serious allegations all 4 times against you, and that doesn't include dangling the gun on IG Live.
Correct.
All I know, Shannon, is I'm a fan of this kid. I love to watch him play. I love his energy. I love his explosive athletic ability. And I love how brazenly he plays basketball. I don't love how brazenly he plays off the court. Yeah. Because a lot of these quotes are still coming from full of himself. And yet, here's the fascinating new development. We spoke earlier. The Grizzlies like to carry themselves as the new young villains of the NBA. They enjoy that sort of tag and label. They play to it. Dylan Brooks, obviously. Desmond Bain last night. Can you keep doing that? Can you go right back into that kind of body language and swagger? Can you handle yourself the same way? Can you present yourself to the media? Will you have the same kind of quotes? What was the exact quote about the West? That he doesn't fear anybody.
You worry about Boston.
He's only worried about Boston, not worried about anybody.
I'm good
in the West. Are you still going to speak that way? Because that was part and parcel of their whole mentality and attitude, right? That was how they carried themselves as a basketball team. And much of the time, I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
And yet, last year, after they won a game against Minnesota, game 1, Ja acted on the court like it was all our fault, that nobody was picking them when it seemed like everybody was picking them. And he acted like they just won the championship.
Right.
And they've won today. Except they beat the T-Wolves.
Right, they won the series.
Yeah, that's all they got.
Skip, the thing is, he said he's now more aware of his position in the league and what's at stake for himself and those around him. John, the only reason you behaved like that was because of your position in the league. Do you think you were the 12th guy on the bench, you would behave like this? Do you think if you weren't a star or a superstar player, you would have been, you wouldn't behave, you behave like this because of your position? It is like, I feel like we put ourselves in this situation with our past mistakes now only right for us to focus and lock in on being smarter. You mean to tell me that you're John Morant and you got your boys around you and you listen to them? Your job. You the one that got something to lose. They hanging around you. You're not hanging around them. They're hanging around you. You're the one with everything to lose. And you taking advice from them? That's not sound advice. Like, hold on, man, I'm John Morant. I got to fix this too. I got this table parlay. I got a $231 million contract. Yeah. Hey, man, hey, bro, let's go do this. Hey, pull out the piece. Yeah. And you like, at one point, so you never thought that, man, I'm John. You just spoke in third person.
Yeah.
Most people don't speak in third person. Me.
Most don't.
so he's well aware of who he is and what he is. And so that's why he was able to behave in a manner as such. I just hope through the 1 week of therapy, maybe that's enough. Maybe it's going to be outpatient, it's going to be ongoing.
Hope so.
Whatever the case may be, let's consider this a lesson learned. Mm-hmm. No one was harmed. Hopefully the thing with the 17-year-old, we get to the bottom of this and we see what happens. Mm-hmm. But no one lost life. No one lost eye or anything like that. No. We can move on and say, you know what, we look back 10 years from now and like, man, and you see how John turned his life around? Mm-hmm. Yeah. He can be a lesson for someone else, and maybe he can go talk to someone and they don't have to bump their head like he had to bump his head to realize that it hurt.
Okay, I am so with you. I co-sign. I second that emotion. But I've been doing this for a long time, and my history with these sort of things is that he wasn't away for enough time to completely and utterly change his ways and the way he moves.
Right.
It's just hard for me to believe. History would tell you, beware.
Right.
That nothing really changed, except he did have some revelations about, he had to look in the mirror and say, do I want to cost myself the $40 million I have coming? Mm-hmm. Because he hasn't even kicked into the new deal.
That starts next year.
Whew. Okay, well, he had that enlightenment. Well, I'll give you that. But
he needs to be one of the all-NBA teams in order for the extra 39 to make it the full 231.
All right. Okay, so will I view Ja Morant a little differently going forward this year? Yes, you better believe I will, because I'm going to be looking a little more side-eye at him, because I want to see, I'm going to be focused upon, my spotlight is going to be trained upon him more carefully than ever.
So you say you're going to look at it more closely. Are you looking at him to see if he still has that same swagger when he's on the court?
Yes.
Do they still play with the same swagger and tenacity? Or are you looking like, let me see if you change, do I know any difference in your behavior?
Interviews, how you handle yourself, and reports will start. Listen, the media is going to be on high alert here. Is he still running with the same group? Does he still have the same inner circle around him?
It's hard to change when you still stay in the same environment. If you're an alcoholic and you still go to bars, boy, you're making it really tough on yourself. If you do drugs and you're in the house, it makes it really, really hard for you to change. So if you say you want to change and you keep saying same group of individuals around you, Skip, it gets really, really hard, because normally if you go to jail and you get out, what they say, you're not supposed to associate with those people that you ended up getting in here for.
I used to get into it. My late mother, she had huge alcohol problems, so she married a second husband, not my father. And he kept beer in the refrigerator. And I'd say, how can you allow that in the household?
Right.
I'm good. I'm strong. I got this. But she was one day at a time.
Right.
She said, I got a disease and it's going to be forever.
Did you sneak in the refrigerator and pour it out?
I thought about it. Because you want to talk about every time you open, you got to look.
You see it right. You see it right.
Look right into the. She wasn't a beer drinker,
right.
So that was the best part. Yeah.
You see, that's how it was with tea. I mean, we couldn't drink the tea. That was for my grandmother and grandfather. And you open the refrigerator, there's a big old thing of tea.
Okay.
They were tipping us,
sweet tea.
Yeah, they were tipping us. But you better not drink it. No, you couldn't drink tea. That was for my granny and my grandfather. Get that water out the sink, son.
Okay. There you go. Well, look what it did for you.
It did. Until this day, I would drink tea. I'm afraid I might get in trouble if I drink tea.
You learned your lesson.
I did.
You're a good student, Shannon. Guys, this 8-game suspension for Jaws does include the 5 he's already missed. He's eligible to come back next Monday for that game. But the Grizzlies said he's probably going to need a little conditioning time. All right, let's talk about the Lakers coming up next, Shannon. Would they be winning without AD? That's a great question. Skip and Shannon dive in on the other side of this break.
I got a heart like a truck, it's been drugged through the mud.
Ram owners have heart for being fearless, determined, and bold. That's why it's time for you to be a Ram.
Now, with 0.9% financing for 60 months, get an average $11,600 in finance savings on our most popular models.
What's your favorite part of the Kit Kat bar? The chocolate?
Nope, the inside.
The wafers?
No, that stuff in between the wafers.
Ah, the in-between stuff.
Have a break, have a Kit Kat, and try a bigger bite with Big Cat. Next on Behind the Series.
That performance was legendary. They just piled it on. Roast beef, ham, oven roasted turkey, all on the Subway floor.
3 beef, that's great. 3 beef, that's epic. The Subway Series, the greatest menu of all time.
This is Antonelli's Tea Shop, and we're the Antonellis.
We chose our Spark Cash Plus card from Capital One because we earn unlimited 2% cash back on every purchase.
And with no preset spending limit, our purchasing power adapts to our business needs. What's in your wallet?
AG1 is so much more than a greens powder. In one single scoop, it delivers daily multivitamins, clear probiotics, stress adaptogens, and yes, greens. Start your journey at athleticgreens.com.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You may not be required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now.
Call 800-420-7304. That's 800-420-7304. 800-420-7304. Call now.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you doing?
Cap, can I get a response to the trade rumors?
Trade. Trades means moving, man. We talking about moving? Moving means contractors, inspectors, strangers judging my carpet. We talking about staging? We talking about a full ficus. A full ficus. Nobody's gonna bring a full ficus into my house. Take yourself in the door. Sell your house directly to them. Easy. I guess we're moving. What you gonna ask me about next, man? Practice?
Is your credit score getting in the way of things you want to do? Personal loans through NetCredit help you borrow up to $10,000. So check your eligibility on netcredit.com today without affecting your credit score. You may even be able to build your credit history as you repay. NetCredit, a more personal loan.
Davis goes back to the bloodline and on a collision course.
Sami Zayn must after a controversial outcome. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus clash to find out who will face Gunther at WrestleMania. An all-new Friday Night SmackDown live at 8 Eastern, 7 Central tomorrow night on Fox.
The Lakers fell to the Rockets last night, 114-110. No AD, though. He sat out of the back-to-back because he dropped 35 points the night before. Shannon, had AD played, would the Lakers have won?
We don't know, but we skipped. They barely win with it. What made them think they were going to win without it? And this is what I don't get. I can see this like, well, AD, he's not being cleared to play back-to-back. Well, he's about to get plenty of rest. He's about to be able to rest back-to-back for the next 3 months.
Yep.
If they don't make the playoffs, I don't get this. This was a winnable game.
It was.
And you rested AD to do what, Skip? It's not like you have a seeding position like you're the second or third or fourth seed, and you say, okay, AD, we're going to take you get AD tonight off. Every game, you need every game. And they're like, no, we're going to rest AD, because health long term. I'm confused. I'm confused by this. The Rockets scored 48 points in the first half in the paint.
In the paint. And then 78 for the game in the paint. What?
I mean, the biggest Skip, if you're going to sit AD, and you got TB, Thomas Bryant, who they traded to the Nuggets, I get it, because in his absence, he was a presence. I mean, he wasn't much of a defensive guy, but he can give you points in the paint. And I mean, he was a true center. Yeah. Now you got Wenyen Gabriel. Wenyen Gabriel ain't no center.
Mo Bamba is hurt.
Right.
And he is 7 feet tall.
All you want to do is shoot threes.
Hey, I got it. But could you have won that game with Mo Bamba manning the paint a little bit? Maybe.
Maybe. And Skip, I mean, they got 6'11", Sengun, Jabari Smith, and Kenyon Martin Jr. I just don't know what I'm confused by what the Lakers' strategy is. It's like what exactly are you saving AD for? Next year?
Good question.
Because let's just say, okay, they're going to reevaluate LeBron on Monday, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then he's going to have to ramp up and get some conditioning. So maybe 4 games to go. But if you got 4 games to go with no chance of getting to the play, why would he bring LeBron back? Why would he even bring him back? Why would he even want to come back? To do what?
I'm sure that decision is hinging right now on the next couple of games. Like at some point, LeBron's going to say, for what?
Exactly. I just, Skip, I don't get. Look, I mean, give the Lakers credit. They played well. They made it. I mean, they were down by 18, but they made it, I think at one point it was 81-87. I'm like, okay, we got something going on.
One point you cut it to 4.
Yeah, and then Lakers shot 38% from the field, 25% from the 3, got out rebounded 51-36, gave up 16 offensive rebounds. And you expected the outcome to be different without your best player playing, your inside, outside presence, and your defensive presence on the other end.
Yeah.
And you expected a different outcome.
Yeah.
I'm confused by this strategy. I'm confused by do they really want to make the playoffs? That's the question, Skip. Do they really want to make the playoffs?
I don't know. And the other thing I don't know is the medical side of this. Was it AD who went right along with, yeah, I need to take the second night off of the back-to-back? Was it the medical staff? Was it the team doctor who said he just cannot risk on that whatever stress reaction he has in his foot? He can't risk a back-to-back. If I'm Anthony Davis, I go to Darvin Ham, I go to Rob Blinken, I just say, hey, I'm fine. I can do this. Let me go. Did they sit him down? Did they actually mandate you cannot play tonight? Did they order it? I don't know the background of this, but you're playing the worst team in obviously the West. But what did that worst team have? What did it just do to Boston?
Yeah.
It beat them in Houston, and Boston had its best 2 players.
Correct.
You didn't have your best 2. So am I shocked by what happened last night?
No.
I am not.
No.
Did the Lakers come out lifeless and kind of heartless?
Yes.
Yeah. And did they get pushed around? Yep, they got pushed around. I'm looking at Twitter last night. Darvin Ham is just getting excoriated on Twitter. He's like the #1 trend the whole night. Yeah. I click on just the thread. I don't read my response, but I clicked on that thread. They're ready to run him out of town. And I'm saying, well, is it his fault that they came out, but they've come out flat a couple times. Remember the Minnesota home game?
Yes.
They just came out and just stunned against the Knicks at home.
Yes.
They just didn't come out and fight very much. So Darvin said that we preached to them before the game. The Houston Rockets live in the paint. That's what this team does. They attack the paint.
Right.
And they got a bunch of young legs on this team.
Yeah, but Skip, I mean, so how do you keep them out? Skip, first of all, without AD, I mean, you got guys, they're terrible in pick and roll defense. Everybody just puts them in the pick and roll and get whatever they want.
Yeah.
So how do you think you were going to protect the paint when your tallest guy is 6'8"? You're a good height for a college team, but not an NBA team.
Yeah, some college teams.
Yeah.
Mississippi State, they're ginormous. Okay, they'd be much bigger. Okay, so Darvin always sort of defaults to this position. He says, if you're not cut out for this, you're in the wrong business. He's acting like, well, I tried to motivate them, but they act like they don't even want to play NBA basketball. Well,
that's your job.
That's your job, Darvin. And I know this is your first time around, but I like a lot. I like his post-game interviews. I want to root for him, but his team is coming out flatter and flatter and flatter, and you're still hanging. You're still barely in the play-in, right?
But Skip, the problem is that they got what they got. I mean, it's not like that. I mean, Troy Brown Jr. started Troy Brown Jr., Hachimura, Vanderbilt, Malik Beasley, and D'Angelo Russell.
Yeah, and Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves played great.
He didn't shoot very well, but
he didn't shoot well for threes.
Yeah,
but he was 6 of 14, 1 of 7. He had 24 points.
Yeah,
he was +1.
He was, and in the fourth quarter, he actually played pretty big, and you won the fourth quarter 36-31, and you just couldn't close the gap.
Right.
Okay. So you know why Laker fans are so frustrated? A, because they're Laker fans and they're spoiled rotten.
The expectation.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you look up above, Denver is reeling. And we don't know if the Grizz are going to get their mojo back when Ja comes back. And all of a sudden, both Luka and Kyrie are out.
Right.
And obviously Zion has been out. And all of a sudden, Laker fans know that the Clippers are now stuck with Russ. And they're trying to figure out how to motivate around Russ, manipulate around Russ.
It wouldn't just manage his minutes.
Yeah, okay. But the point is, Golden State is flawed. They don't look the same. And so Laker fans keep looking up at, well, we could be better than them. And I still tell you, I still like the pieces, even though I couldn't see it last night. But if AD can play every game and LeBron comes back revitalized, you got a shot.
Yeah.
In fact, I would like, with AD right, if he can play every night going forward, and LeBron was playing great. He's still a top 10 player. Okay, that team is better than Golden State. That's what. I agree with that. Okay, so you got to hang in and hang on. But now we're down to T-12 and counting.
Yeah, but Skip, how many games? First of all, Skip, it's not like they're a great team to begin with. So without your best player, there are not very many teams. I get it, like if Boston without Jason Tatum or they're without Jaylen Brown, you still have one or the other. Mm-hmm. But without the two best players, you're not winning. The likelihood of the Celtics winning without Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, or the Sixers winning without Joel Embiid and James Harden.
But remember, you can only play 5 at once.
Yes.
If you got 2 really good ones, if you got 2 potential top 10 players, you've got a shot.
Right.
Like right now, Sacramento is the best team in the West. They're playing the best.
I'm going to tell you what, you better have a 10-point lead because the game is close. De'Aaron Fox going to beat you.
He's going to get you.
He's going to get you.
No, I got it. But I was kidding with you the other day. They're playing Milwaukee at home, and I said, is this a potential finals preview? Maybe.
And it took Giannis giving a Herculean effort.
It did.
I mean, if he doesn't do what he does in the third quarter, they don't win that game.
No,
I'm telling you what, they're going to be a tough out. You better be willing to know that you can score 130 because they're going to get there.
Okay, but they need a little scar tissue off that game. They got adulted because, to me, they're just more adults on Milwaukee right now because they haven't done this before. This is all still pretty new to them. Trey Lyles is one vet on that team, and he got tossed at the end of the game because he got into it with Giannis and Brook Lopez. But again, I like the fight. My point is, Sacramento has never done this before.
No.
So Laker fans are looking up the ladder at Sacramento saying, well, gee, if we had LeBron and AD in a playoff series, could we beat Sacramento?
Yes.
You've had a hard time with Sacramento.
Yeah, you have.
But you beat them up there. Remember, Schroeder made a play at the end of the game, and you won the game up there.
Yeah, I mean, in a 7-game series with the Lakers, right? Sure, they could beat anybody. But hell, they might not even get a chance to make the playoffs.
That's what it's come down to, but that's the West this year.
Yes.
That's why I'm so frustrated.
It's not like, so, you know, they got a whole bunch of teams, and teams are like, you got one team that's already won like 55 games. Only one team has won 50 games, and I think that's the Bucks. The Bucks might be 49 and something.
Yeah.
But ain't no team that's just running away in either conference.
Okay. Remember, the night LeBron passed Kareem, AD had a weird reaction because he didn't get up and cheer.
Right.
If he had been benched for the moment, he'd been pulled from the game. And he said, the day after, he said, hey, I was upset because we were losing to Oklahoma City on our home floor.
Right.
Okay? I love that attitude. Well, why wouldn't that attitude carry into last night? Can you just say, hey, I know you guys don't want me to play because that's what the medical people say. I got to play. Right?
Yeah.
Can you just say, I'm going to do this because we need this game?
This was an opportunity for them to finally get to 500. They get right there on the cusp of 500, skip, and then go in the water again.
500?
I mean, it's going to be a challenge to win 40 games.
Yep, it is. After that stretch LeBron pulled off on his birthday through Kareem, and you're still sub 500.
So,
yep.
36 in the loss column, as a matter of fact, guys. That's even with the 11th place Jazz. The Lakers do have one more win, but they've played one more game. So it'll be tight, those final play-in spots. Time will tell. Let's move back to the gridiron when we come back, guys. The Buccaneers, can they pick up where they left off with one Baker Mayfield under center? We'll discuss on the other side of this break.
To all the Chevy Silverado owners out there, the adventurers and the doers, to everyone who works hard and plays hard. Whether it's your first Silverado, thank you for making Chevy Silverado the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup.
I can't believe this is how you kids talk to your friends. This is talking. Did you have a nice day? Look at the size of these butterfly shrimp. Ginormous. Butterfly shrimp? What? Now she's talking.
We're reinventing our network.
With smarter, more efficient routes. So you can deliver more value to your customers.
Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. The United States Postal Service.
When cold symptoms keep you up, try Vicks NyQuil Severe. Just one dose starts relieving 9 of the worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. For max strength nighttime relief, NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, sore throat, best sleep with a cold medicine.
Ace is the place for paint because only Ace offers the extra mile promise. We'll help you get everything you need to paint in one trip, or we'll deliver it free. Ace is the only national hardware retailer that carries Benjamin Moore paint at over 4,000 stores. Our best premium paint with a huge selection of colors. Premium paint, award-winning service, and the extra mile promise. Ace is the place for paint. Around the block, what you need in stock, with service so good it's guaranteed.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
We always believed the welcoming spirit was a small town thing. Turns out, we were wrong. Wherever Jim Beam is welcome, he'll be welcome too.
At Domino's, we are obsessed with delivery.
I'm not sure other guys think about delivery.
So it breaks our heart when we see delivery done wrong.
Like soggy fries. They're soggy and they don't deliver well.
We knew we had to do something about it. Turns out the solve wasn't better fries. It was tots.
Hot, crispy, golden. Because we're a pizza company, we loaded them with pizza toppings.
Our tots are made to be delivered.
Introducing new loaded tots.
And they're only $6.99 each when you order pizza and tots. What else could be better than that?
The NASCAR Cup Series hits the high banks of Atlanta. And Better Health 400, Sunday on Fox.
This is Shea Puddings for us. We partnered up with Sandy and Stewie with Pierce.
excited to get into this knife fight?
I love you, but you are not serious people.
You're a snake. I hate you. Do you understand?
Let's blow it up.
I want to see the opposition. Cut that throat. We are pirates!
Be sure to subscribe to the Undisputed Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Baker Mayfield heading to Tampa, according to new reports. Mayfield and the Bucs have agreed on a one-year, $4 million contract that could be worth up to $8.5 million. Shannon, good idea or bad idea?
It's a one-year deal. It's not like they say he's the quarterback of the future.
No.
Andy Dalton got 2 years. Mike White got 2 years. Old Steady, Jared Stidham got 2 years. Jimmy G got 3 years. It's even a battle with Kyle Trask. I can see right now Mike Evans and Chris Godwin like, oh my goodness, Baker here to save the day. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. Can you imagine? I'm going from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield.
Can you believe that?
Mike Evans, I'm surprised Mike Evans and Chris Godwin had that for a trade.
Really?
Yeah. He's playing with the fourth skill. So you want me to get excited? In 10 games last year, the man went 2-8. He threw 10 touchdowns with 8 picks. And I'm supposed to get on pom-poms and have a big old sign that says, yay! Is that what you want me to do?
You can do what?
No, I can't do that. Baker Mayfield is already one of the most disappointing number 1 overall picks in the history. Did you know, since the common draft goes back to 1967, he's one of 2 number 1 overall draft picks to play for 3 teams in his first 5 seasons. Hold on, I was born in 68. I'm about to be double nickel. So in 56 stinking years, only 2 times in their history, in the common draft, 1967, that was the year before I was born.
Yeah.
And you want to sit there and tell me Baker. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
I haven't even spoken.
You should be ashamed of yourself for troubling his cause for the better part of 6 years. When you go, if you go back to 2 years, he was in college that we was on here. So for 7 years, you've been troubling this man's cause.
Speaking of salaries, would you believe that Sam Darnold, the guy that you like coming out in that draft, got $4.5 million to be the 3rd string quarterback for the 49ers?
What'd that tell you?
He's a boss.
No. So how much Baker make it?
Well, it's a max of 8 points.
How much he get? No, I don't talk about the max. I'm talking about the men. What he gave the men.
Yeah. Okay. Baker Mayfield is about to replace Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. as the starting quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, whose Super Bowl odds have plummeted all the way down to 25th in the NFL. That's how far.
Yeah, you got a 32 team. Damn.
Correct. I got it. All right. Just because this has happened, it is time for me to walk you back through just what a quote-unquote bust Baker has been.
Okay.
His rookie year in Cleveland as the number 1 overall pick, and again, I did like Baker in the draft. I told you going into that draft, I would take Baker number 1, and they did. And it was a shock to most people. Most people loved Sam Darnold, including you. I also said Josh Rosen would be a bust, and he was. I said I saw Josh Allen play 1 game, Wyoming against Iowa, because it was the only good game on their schedule, and I didn't see that much to love about him, but he has been very good. Am I sold on Josh Allen? I'm not completely sold. And obviously the outlier is the guy who went at the bottom of the first round, and it was Lamar Jackson. I did not see that coming, and I'm not sure anybody really saw that coming, as in MVP coming. Rookie year in Cleveland, that team had gone 0-16 the year before. Baker Mayfield won 7 games for that team. and was runner-up Rookie of the Year to Saquon Barkley. I don't think anybody was talking bust about Baker after his rookie year because he took the NFL by storm, as in storm of touchdown passes, as in 27 touchdown passes he threw after not even starting the first 3 games his rookie year in Cleveland. You were taken by it so much that we go into year 2 and you were driving his bandwagon. Shake and bake, baby, right? Okay, you were drunk. Okay, you were delusional. You lost it for a while.
I did.
You needed therapy. You needed to go to a facility in Florida.
I went for 2 days.
Okay, you went for 2 days. Okay, and all of a sudden, right on schedule for his sophomore year in the NFL, here comes his best buddy, Odell Beckham.
Oh, my God. No, you did, Skip.
Okay, well, here he came. And for whatever reasons, they clicked off the field because they actually took vacations together. I don't know what happened, but they did not click on the field. Baker became completely Odell-centric. He's forcing the ball. Jarvis is not happy, his teammate from LSU, but Odell's teammate. And it just goes completely south. And then worse, would you believe Odell had not 1 or 2, he had 3 different surgeries while he was a Cleveland Brown. And I thought he lost a step. He didn't look like Odell to me. And Baker kept force-feeding Odell when there was nothing to force-feed. And in the final stint there, he was just dropping every other ball. He didn't like Baker. Baker didn't like him on the field. I don't know what happened. The father got involved and they were posting video mad throws. So maybe not coincidentally, if you recall, on October 25th of 2020, a game at Cincinnati against Joe Burrow and the Bengals, Odell got hurt. He tore his ACL. And guess who took off? Baker Mayfield took off. And over the next 11 games, they go 8-3. And what does he do? He throws 20 touchdown passes to only 3 interceptions, and they go and win their first playoff game since 1994 against their arch rival on the road at Pittsburgh. Over that stretch, Baker was graded by Pro Football Focus the 4th best quarterback in all of pro football over an 11-game stretch. That's a pretty big sample size behind Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson and Tom Brady. That's pretty good company, I would say. And yet, over this same stretch, Baker's having to suffer through the clown show Browns who give him 4 different head coaches and 4 different coordinators in his 4 years.
He got him fired.
Okay, well, I don't think so. How does 8-3 in a playoff win get you fired? It was one thing after another after another. Okay, so I look back on his time in Cleveland, and here's some of his games. Guess who he saved his best for? The best team in the division, Baltimore, who had the best defense in the division. These are 4 of the games he played, all against Baltimore. He threw for 376, 343, 342, and 342, all against Baltimore, and 3 of those games were at Baltimore.
Hey, you know what? They should have traded him after the season because that was as good as it get. Then they ended up trading for a box of Cracker Jacks and a bag of marbles. And then he got beat out in Carolina by Sam Darnold and P.J. Walker. That's what happened, Skip Bayless. But you can go back to his rookie year, his sophomore year, his junior year, whatever.
Okay.
At the end of the day,
Okay. And then he goes to Carolina. And I put all the eggs in the basket of the first game because they have to play his old team, or get to play his old team. The Cleveland Browns visit Carolina for game number 1.
And beat them.
And what happened in the 4th quarter?
Baker didn't happen.
Baker threw for 131 yards in the 4th quarter, 5 out of 6 for 131, and led a late drive that concluded with 1:13 remaining in the game. A chip shot field goal from 34 yards that put them up 24-23, and I said, "Here comes Baker Mayfield."
I didn't say that.
And there was a roughing the passer that was
roughing the passer,
and then there was an uncalled intentional grounding by Jacoby Brissett that would have ended the game, and it took a 58-yard field goal by the rookie out of LSU, Cade York, 58 yards. Then Baker goes up and plays well enough to beat the suddenly hot New York Football Giants. And it took Graham Gano from 56 yards to win that game. It was 16-13. The point is, he got off to a bad start, and it went worse. And Matt Rule got fired because he deserved to get fired. And then what happened?
Yeah, he got fired because he brought Baker Mayfield on. He thought Baker Mayfield could save his job.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield got the coach fired and himself cut. Okay. That's how well he played in Carolina.
Okay.
You do realize that's what happened, right, Skip?
I do.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, Sean McVay happened because he said, "You know what? I love Baker before the draft. I love him now. I'll take him. I don't have Matt Stafford. I don't have Cooper Kupp. I don't have a starting receiver left. But I will take Baker Mayfield, and on the fly, off 2 days of practice, I will throw him into a Thursday night football game against the Las Vegas Raiders on SoFi.
That train wreck.
Yeah, that train wreck. And the train wreck was the Rams, because they had nobody. They didn't have Jay Ram. They didn't have Aaron Donald. They had nobody but Baker or bust, and he busted up the Las Vegas Raiders. That final drive, it was a thing of beauty. He went 98 yards in 8 plays for the winning touchdown throw. In the fourth quarter, he went 15 of 20 for 141 and lit up the night with that throw. If we could see it.
No, we don't need to see it.
We got to see it.
No, we don't need to see it.
We're talking about clutch. This is the final throw of the game. Right on the button, down the chimney. How about that, smoke, Raiders? How about it? That's Baker Mayfield.
That was the Raiders. That was the Raiders.
Shake a mate.
The Raiders.
Shake a mate, baby.
I mean, you show a video highlight clip against the Raiders.
Okay, I just showed you why he's not a bust. And Tampa just got a bargain because he will fit right in there. He'll be just what the doctor ordered to bridge the gap, to get them back, to help. There's still some left. You see what Levante David, as soon as Baker signed, he said, I think I'll come back then. He took his deal. Nobody thought he was going back to Tampa, but he went back. Here we go.
Okay, he ain't a bust, he a fan. But he a bust.
Okay. You still got Mike Evans. You still got Chris Godwin.
Hey, you ain't got no quarterback. You still ain't got no quarterback.
Okay.
He's not Tom Brady. Tom Brady at 50 would be better than Baker.
Okay, what scares me is there is no more Byron Leftwich. There's no more Bruce Arians hands-on. And they got a brand new offensive coordinator. I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Forgive me. I think it's Dave Canales. And he was under Pete Carroll for years and years in Seattle, but he wasn't even the coordinator, obviously. He was like the quarterback coach. And so he's now Baker's like umpteenth coordinator that he's had to deal with in this league.
Yeah, that's what the coordinator.
We'll see what happens.
That's what the coordinators say that. You know, Baker, having Coach Baker is not a plus on your resume, right? You do realize that's a ding.
Oh, I just showed you.
That's a red flag.
A bunch of high-level productivity.
Credit score dropping.
Whew, whew.
If he was a credit rating, Moody's gave him a poor grade.
Baker's gonna bust up that division because all of a sudden I think he's the best quarterback in that division.
That ain't saying much. He don't about he's the best quarterback in the division.
He is.
You know what, kid? You got no shame.
I told you, I thought I'd never watch another Bucs game, and all of a sudden I'll be watching everyone, and so will you.
Wow. You already know that.
Shake and bake, baby.
Okay, shake and bake. Okay.
So much change under center in the NFC South, guys. On that note, every team will have a new starting quarterback next season in the NFC South. Okay, Joel Embiid. Guys, do you think he sealed the deal for MVP last night? Let's discuss when we return.
Let's eat, y'all. Let's eat, y'all. Let's see if you can keep up with the beat, y'all. Take a seat, y'all. Time to feast, y'all. Let's see what you can really do for me, y'all. Grab a leg, serve it, and on a
Senior Mayor, with this tower, I will make Pisa world famous. And you?
Yeah, you can see towers like this in Rome, in Venice, in Florence.
But these ones round.
No, I don't know. Maybe a red one will help you see it from a different slant.
Yes, I've got it. We'll build it like this.
Perfetto!
Red Bull gives you wings. Active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. Now, Skyrizi helps me get going. Along with clearer skin, Skyrizi helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue in just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi to treat your skin and joint symptoms so you can get going. Learn how happy can help you save.
Does anybody actually sit down to 3 meals a day these days? Well, here's how I miss a meal but miss nothing. I just unwrapped one of my delicious Atkins chocolate peanut butter bars. Those big boys really fill me up, and they're Atkins. So, single digits on the net carbs and sugar, and 16 grams of protein. Now, I've also started trying some new ones. And they make it with great stuff like almond butter, granola, pecans, even pretzels. These are today's Neo bars. They're a big deal, even if you're not doing napkins.
Back when I had a working circulatory system, you had to give your right arm to find great talent. But with Upwork, there's highly skilled talent from all over the globe, right at your fingertips. It's where businesses meet great remote talent, and remote talent meets great opportunity.
This is how we work now.
This is Corona Premier. Just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. It's a light beer. Wait, this is a light beer? We should really tell people about. Right, that's why I'm here. Sorry. Corona Premier, unexpectedly, light beer.
Oh, I'm so glad we did this. I'm so glad we did this. I'm so glad we did this. I'm so glad we did this.
Life is for living. Let's partner for all of it. I'm so glad we did this. Edward Jones.
Welcome to Mars, the madness set to unfold.
There's no controlling the unrolling of your face.
It's gonna be a wild ride.
Who knows what's written in the magical book?
Ready to be Cinderella again. This moment we talk about the life. Good.
Let's do this. Tag me in. You feel that? We're connected. Dish on demand. There's literally thousands of movies and shows. Oh, on demand. This is legendary.
Connect your hardware directly or through Wi-Fi to unlock on-demand dish anywhere, voice remote, and streaming apps.
We have the best connection. Oh, we still do.
Watch Biography, WWE Legends, on A&E.
Yes!
Joel Embiid posted 36 points, 18 rebounds, 4 blocks in the 76ers' 118-109 victory over the Cavs. According to Fox Bet Sportsbook, Embiid now the betting favorite to win MVP over Nikola Jokic. Shannon, Joker's been your guy. Are you buying this?
Yeah, Joel Embiid has been phenomenal over the last 2 weeks, Skip, and we had the conversation. I said it's not over yet. At that point in time, Nikola Jokic was the MVP. But considering the slide that they've been on and the meteoric rise that Joel Embiid has been on, rightfully so that he should be the betting favorite. 6-game winning streak. The Nuggets have been on a 4-game skid, and Joel Embiid has been nothing short of sensational during that 6-game winning streak. So, yeah, he should be the favorite.
So you have conceded.
Skip, it's not over.
Oh.
Just like 2 weeks ago, Jokic was the betting favorite. Now,
2 weeks ago, you said it's not even close.
No, it wasn't.
Oh,
it wasn't.
Okay.
But it wasn't over.
All right. So big picture, and people are sleeping on Philadelphia. Since early January, they have been on a 34-10 tear.
Right.
That's the best record in the NBA since early January. And this man is on defense. He is now lurking in the lane like the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
Last night, he was just taking my breath away, blocking shots that they didn't see coming. If we could just see his 4 blocks last night in a row. This is some spectacular commanding of the lane. Yeah, don't try that anymore. You don't try that anymore. Then there's a quick jump block. Okay, and here, this is the best one. This is late in the game. That was actually a 2-for-1 when he bothered one shot and then wheeled and quick jumped and blocked the other one. The agility for 7'1" is off the charts. the shooting touch from long distance is off the charts. But his free throw shooting, if only LeBron could shoot free throws like this 7'1" monster can shoot them. He made 10 of 10 last night. He just hit his average. He makes 10 free throws a game.
You think, let me ask you a question. You think Joel Embiid, when it's all said and done, will be within 10,000 points of LeBron James?
No, I don't. Because I don't know if it'll last that long. I don't know. He's got some injury history, but so far, so great this year.
You think he'll win 4 MVP?
You can't knock him for his past injury
You think he'll win 4 MVP like LeBron?
I don't know. That's all about health. I just don't know.
You think he'll win 4 or 5?
I think he's going to win this one. That's all I care about.
You think he'll win that? You go to 19 All-Star games like LeBron?
Well, obviously. On durability, LeBron has been Iron Man until lately. But this man is shooting 86% from the free throw line. I don't know how he does it. This man shoots their technical foul shots. What 7'1" guy steps up there and shoots it conventionally? We're not talking about
because he tried to win the MVP, so you need points.
Okay,
that's why he's shooting.
No, that's not why he's shooting.
So
he's shooting because he makes them.
So is he a better free throw? Is he a better free throw shooter than James Harden?
Yeah, I think he is. I just do. James has been gagging him lately. He shoots them so flat.
Nah, he's been gagging. Not James Harden gagging free throws.
Well, I think you've finally seen the light that this man is dominating. And then he made the clutch shot, the walk-off the other night against Portland.
Yeah. He's been Skip. Skip, I just go by what I see. And right now, Joel Embiid is the MVP if they were to vote right now. But there's still, 3 weeks left in the season. So just like a lot of things can transpire in the last 2 weeks, a lot of things can transpire. It's not like, hey, everybody keeps talking about Jokic. It's not like Giannis is going away and hitting either.
No. 36 points, 18 rebounds, and he does get respect from the officials because that last play,
that was a foul.
I would have called an offensive foul.
They did.
But they looked at it, and the doc needed to challenge. And Doc said after the game, I challenged because I didn't even need to take a look at it. Well, it's late in the game, you got to tell, you might as well just do it.
Exactly.
And they go look hard at it for a long time, and they conclude there was some flop that started early in that play by the alleged victim, right? Yeah. Okay. So maybe he got away with one, but they got away with storming back from 12 down at Cleveland, which I was watching it closely because we had do bet on it.
Yeah.
I didn't think they could come back from 12 down, and they've been coming back like crazy on teams.
Yeah, but the big gun for Donovan Mitchell and Darren Scarlett,
they could make 3-point shots.
Yeah, they was 2 for 14.
Yeah, that won't work. But they were making a lot of shots. They just weren't making 3.
Right. But you let Philly shoot 52% from the floor and 47% from the 3. You're probably gonna lose the game, Skip, and you got crushed on the glass.
Yeah.
46 to 33 with Mobley and Jared Allen.
Yeah.
With Jared Allen, he played last night. But Mobley been playing well. I mean, we gave you 13 and 12.
He did.
But you needed literally Garland to go off.
He did.
And they did.
Tyrese Maxey went off on them.
And James Harden went off.
We're out of time, guys. We gotta go. We gotta talk about this Bengals shopping spree. They just get Joe Burrow the protection he needs. That's next.
I like to move it. You like to move it.
We're reinventing our network.
I like to move it. I like to move it. I like to move it. You like to move it. I like to move it. You like to move it.
Fast, reliable, perfectly orchestrated. United States Postal Service.
It's not like the good old days.
It's not like the good old days.
It's not like the good old days.
Stop parroting everything. Instead, drink a Red Bull and think for yourselves.
Since when do you dictate what we do?
Exactly. You're not the boss of us. Power to the people.
Oh, well. Individuality often complicates things.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Gillette presents the Gillette Labs Exfoliating Bar. The bar on the handle removes unseen dirt and debris that gets in the way of the blades for effortless shaving in one efficient stroke. All with a lifetime warranty. And if you want to keep the beard, use King C Gillette, a lineup of products designed to cleanse, soften, trim, and style for your best beard. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Allow yourself to go back. What do you see? Darkness. We brought it back with us. It's happening again, isn't it? I can feel it.
Your friendships are a little more complicated than most.
You can't replace wildlife once it's gone. Join our mission to protect their future. Join the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance.
Somebody treated unfairly because of the color of their skin.
Do you guys know what it means to have white privilege?
What is racism and what do you think about it?
Oh, and there's less breathe. Breathe easy again.
I can't believe this is how you kids talk to your friends. This is talking. Did you have a nice day? Look at the size of these butterfly shrimp. Ginormous. Butterfly shrimp? What? Now she's talking.
If I just stare at these payroll forms, my business payroll taxes will calculate themselves, right? Nope. HitSquad QuickBooks helps you manage your payroll taxes. Cheers. With 100% accurate tax calculations guaranteed.
As someone living with type 2 diabetes, I want to keep it real and talk about some risks. With type 2 diabetes, you have up to 4 times greater risk of stroke, heart attack, or death. Even at your A1C goal, you're still at risk, which if ignored could bring you here. May put you in one of those, or even worse. Too much? That's the point. Get real about your risks and do something about it. Talk to your healthcare provider about ways to lower your risk of stroke, heart attack, or death. Learn more at getrealaboutdiabetes.com.
Ego, Milwaukee, Steel, all the top-rated brands, all run on their own single battery system, and all come from one source, your local Ace.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. And I want that
Welcome back. You've got the herd coming at you as soon as we're done here on Undisputed. So good morning, Colin. What are y'all talking about today?
Well, we still don't know where Aaron is going. Kind of, sort of we do. What's remarkable yesterday from his sit down on YouTube, I have a takeaway that I just can't get over. That's coming up.
Ooh, intriguing. All right, the Chiefs could not re-sign Pro Bowl offensive tackle Orlando Brown. Instead, Brown's going to be leaving Patrick Mahomes, signing a 4-year deal with the Bengals to protect Joe Burrow. Shannon, on a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a deal is this?
Skip, I'm confused. Now, he had an opportunity to become the highest paid tackle in football. He turned that down to become the 17th highest paid tackle in football. What, am I missing something here? It just goes to show you an agent isn't everything because the player has to be willing to take the contract that's offered. Okay. He turned down 6 years for $139 to sign a 4-year for $64.
Okay, but on scale 1 to 10 impact, it's a 10. Because remember, last year Mahomes' offensive line was #1 in the league in pass block win rate. Burrow's over the last 2 years has been dead last in pass block win rate. And all of a sudden you took the left tackle from Mahomes and gave him to Burrow?
You gained something while reducing something from someone else. Right. So that was absolutely a great move, but I don't know what O'Brien was thinking. I guess you don't like money.
Joe Burrow's breathing a sigh of relief, that's for sure. Great stuff today, guys. We're out of time. Stick around, everybody. The Herd's next.
Oh, here we go. It is a Thursday, live in Los Angeles. It's the Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. Thanks for making us part of your day. J-Mac joining me as always. He loves the next 3 or 4 days because it's March Madness. He's a college basketball diehard, so I'm going to do what I know Jason's going to do, go home after the show, crack open a beer, and sit and watch college hoops for about 8 hours.
That would be the plan, but I got a bunch of buddies who are like, we got to watch this at a bar. I'm like, can you find a bar where I can bring my dog?
That need has been met. So a lot of consuming NCAA tournament and Aaron Rodgers questions over the next 48 hours.
So let's start with that. I don't necessarily agree with all his political stances, but there's a Canadian psychologist named Jordan Peterson, and he has a belief, and I tend to believe this too, is that you can't totally be an adult, a grown-up, until you love somebody more than yourself. And this psychologist believes, and I do too, that to really be a grown-up, it's not the only way to be an adult, but it's certainly impactful in your development as a human being. You're married, you have kids. Anybody who's had kids, the minute you have a kid, you find out that your love for that child is so much greater than the narcissism and love for yourself. So again, Jordan Peterson, I may not agree with him on some climate opinions, but I will say that I agree there that you have to love somebody greater than yourself. That is one of the first signs.
Let's go. You seen the making of a star, they hear my name and remember me. Just let the record show that I said I'm coming for everything. You seen the making of a star, they hear my name and remember me. Said I'm coming for everything. You good, but to be great, you gotta have confidence. The next level was legend. You gotta have accomplishments. In any league, they considering me dominant. The long falls, you know the pit of defeat, bottomless. I was hungry way before I got your support. I hopped off the porch around the time that y'all got awards. Lyrical exercise, this what I call a sport. The fourth bar, brother, when I push the rock off the court. I got champion genetics. Champion genetics. Next level. One of the best. Remember me. You seen the making of a star, they hear my name and remember me. Just let the record show that I said I'm coming for everything. You seen the making of a star, they hear my name and remember me. Just let the record show that I said I'm coming for everything. The chattermouths who talent don't average out. If your flow ain't nowhere near this caliber, that don't count. Competition get flattened out. Getting money like I went top 3 in the first round. My salary that amount. They want my style, but that ain't much to be flat about. I take it as a challenge when rappers calling my status out. One of the best, and they ain't my pedigree. You can have the rings, or we did an AI's legacy. I got champion genetics. Next level. One of the best. Remember me. You seen the making of a star, they hear my name and remember me. Just let the record show that I said I'm coming for everything. You seen the making of a star, they hear my name and remember me. Just let the record show that I said I'm coming for everything. Next level. One of the best.
That my Brooklyn go see Chirac, Southside, C12, 911, grrr to the reality, we still outside. Mine on the riches, hard in the trenches. You can't throw dirt on the underground, we thrive in it. Ghana boys stocks on the rise, Charlie, this flex know they ready. See, we not a ride nobody wave, we the ones who started with it. Translation, Yanni had to buy, Yanni had Yanni hits. This goes so hard, even the ops go with it, That's how you know we lit. Grrr. dust. Been taking no loss. We be the hottest on the scene. Gemstones from the dust. Big dog with your leash. Where's the love in the streets? Got my heart on the beat. See that blood on my sheets. Yeah, when me ready, me hit it heavy. I zoom out the pride of my people already. Them I see Ellie. Me, I'm just sharing my journey. I'm thankful the people they hear me. Tribe of Joseph, I'm ahead of the bunch. P5, I was starving for months. A running cut in both of my pockets. Me need my DNA. Baby for lunch, but call me a star before BBC. Don't take a lot to get rid of me. Me and them don't get the same. Me and them don't get the same. Boy, that them gonna know the name is. They say I move like I'm nameless. Cause I only come for the money bags. And I don't really wanna be famous, man. You know what's up. You know what's up. You pretend. You gonna lie. We don't be gang. You know what's up.
Crazy, we going crazy. We at the top and we never gon' stop. Hop in a ghost, I'ma get swayzy. I just got off with a jet and I cry. I win in a Humvee, I lie. I be on go cause I come from the shot. I'm shooting back, I ain't ducking no shots. Got power like Samson, I cut off the locks. Shabak, Timmer, in the cut like I'm Fredo Santana. Ushu Banton, I hop in the Bama, the world is mine. I'm Tony Montana, I'm Pelican Fly. Diamonds on me cause I'm rapping a rock. I'ma go hard, I ain't killing them soft. I'm up in the hills, I feel like I'm Lauren, you ready or not? I like who got businesses, I'm CEO of mine. 1980 Prezi Rolly, we been working overtime. The witness, the police, the pigs, I don't eat swine. Son of Jacob, this biblical, my flow, the holy God. Save money ground up in the gutter where they found us. Stones in the faint mouth rush. More vacays, more bucks, more race, more foreign trucks, more on a tour bus, more pour cup. Toast to the winners, throw it up.
Juicy, where the drums at?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold up, it ain't easy breaking away or being a great. They slamming the door, I'm jumping the gate. Cause a starving stomach like being punched in the face. And an instrumental was the last time that I ate food from all of the bass. My ace spoon going big son told me about the game. 20 years later, know my name. King, crown me, lounge in the back of the spot. Pay homage to an underground peasant, climb to the top. Funny style on elevators could never fade us. I peep data stain anytime they congratulate us. Goggles is worn and bottles is popping. I'm beyond Sanders on haters, this ice bucket dropping over their head with it. Extra the cred with it. You either fight or flight, I ain't one for the ledge living. I do it for the one that died but fed millions. With soul food flowed and stocked my bare kitchen. I'm liberated. I drew a play that they ain't illustrated. I make a move, they gladly imitate it. I ain't flattered, I'm a dragon to your paper castle. The Alpha and Omega, promise it ain't nothing after. A new beginning. My catalog like James Earl Jones, the ever living. Imagine if I did make beats that's more for killing. Imagine if you come from the sci-fi, my city. You probably wouldn't make it, oh yeah, yeah, really. I go extra to be great. I go extra for the fam, I go extra for the cake. I got extras on the plate. I go extra every day, I got extras on the way. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra. Ain't no mileage of $4 configure the road I travel. Don't gravel, that probably baffle it. Label scribble on paper, they wanna shackle it. I own my masters and royalties, you can't raffle it. Wrist drip like a mango, fingertips like I'm Thanos. Knocking those down, no bangles. Without a Kango, tailor-made. Walk with a limp, them bands is heavy, I need a brace. I am money, I guess the world is just a safe combination needed, not a coca key. I'm the extra lighter on the dresser. I know you need it, smoking out the competition, pouring up, we undefeated. What you heard, let's you heard, we eating, talking about extra with a splash, extra acting bad. Pull it like parades on parades, extra with the slab. Pay what it cost for the tab, extra with the bag. Young Cruiser King, better add extra on the. I go extra to be great. I go extra for the fam, I go extra for the cake. I got extras on the plate. I go extra every day, I got extras on the way. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra. How much? Extra, extra.
Alright, my flow sinister. This ain't rap music, this straight literature. Small-minded, all your ideas miniature. They tend to hate on you when they can't get rid of you. I ain't going nowhere, 20-year career minimum. Call Hit Boy for beats, ask for 10 of them. I don't follow trends, I swing the pendulum. If the bag good, I'm gon' give her some. Let's reflect times, I try to collect minds from complex rhymes. And by the way, shout out Tech 9. Go and shut the up, just let me talk. I'm a time bomb that's waiting to go off. Quite nuclear, amazing what fame could do to you. Too peculiar, although I'm truly a renaissance starter. My mind divine, it take me a lot farther. Growing up, I really had beef with my father. But why bother explaining my feelings? Try harder, but either way they gon' paint you the villain. 8 months with no phone, dog, we aiming for brilliance. High level maintaining the building, we making a killing. Alright, my flow sinister. This ain't rap music, this straight literature. Small-minded, all your ideas miniature. They tend to hate on you when they can't get rid of you. A wise man told me that silence never betrayed him. Keep your mouth shut, cause got ultimatums. Stupid situations, the tongue often creates them. The motor mouth is usually causing mayhem.
Lil' tune, flow sinister, I'ma finish him. Many men gon' need ministers, I ain't meaning them. Enemies, I'm the enema, I'ma on them. Just like my keys, drop my on the dinner work. My thoughts I keep confidential, it's consequential. Philosophies unidentical, I'm not into you. My Siamese brother Benjamin, that's how I stick to him. These diamond bees, all BBs, I call them Vivica. Skating underneath the bridge, stay hustling as it is. Make money, feed the kids, ain't nothing in the fridge. Wake up, repeat the sins, I need a 10, stay muddy to the lid, 800, eat it.
Yeah, alright, my flow sinister. This ain't rap music, this straight literature. Small-minded, all your ideas miniature. They tend to hate on you when they can't get rid of you. I ain't going nowhere, 20-year career minimum. Call Hit Boy for beats, ask for 10 of them. I don't follow trends, I swing the pendulum. If the bag good, I'm gon' give her some. Yeah, alright, my flow sinister.
Where are we going?
Top levels.
That's what I'm talking about.
On the top. I want to stay here. Don't want to take down Gordon Ramsay? Of course.
We on next level chef, baby.
Gordon Ramsay does not do losing. Next level chef. Tuesdays on Fox. Always right, never wrong, undisputed. Sunday on Fox. We take the green flag in Atlanta. The deafening roar of NASCAR hits the high banks of Atlanta. This is going to be a tough one. Frenzy-packed racing, blistering speeds. This is a race of a different breed. NASCAR Cup Series and Better Health 400. Coverage begins Sunday at 2 Eastern on Fox. Type 2 diabetes?
Discover the Ozempic Trizone. In my Ozempic Trizone, I lowered my A1C, CV risk, and lost some weight.
In studies, the majority of people reached an A1C under 7 and maintained it. Ozempic lowers the risk of major cardiovascular events such as stroke, heart attack, or death in adults also with known heart disease. And you may lose weight. Adults lost up to 14 pounds. Ozempic isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. Don't share needles or pens or reuse needles. Don't take Ozempic if you or your family ever had medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2 or if allergic to it. Stop Ozempic and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Gallbladder problems may occur. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes. Taking Ozempic with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase low blood sugar risk. Side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may worsen kidney problems.
Join the millions already taking Ozempic. Ask your healthcare provider about the Ozempic Trizone.
A frat house, a cow, and a whole lot of stairs. Got animal control? Do not milk the cow. I'm talking to you, guy with the bowl of cereal. All new tonight, followed by a very loud all new cat. An all new hour of comedy tonight on Fox.
Derek Carr with the Raiders led the NFL in fourth quarter comebacks. A lot of people label him as good. I see him as a top 12 quarterback in the league. He is now going to the Saints. It is a 4-year deal. Now, your first thought is, oh boy, defensive coach. He knows Dennis Allen. A little bit of a party city. He's not a party guy. Well, he was in Vegas. He can handle that. But I find when people get divorced, kicked to the curb, whether they initiated it or not, they're going to seek things they didn't have in the previous relationship. The Raiders front office is a perpetual chaotic mess. The Saints front office is Mickey Loomis, stability, one of the best drafting franchises in the NFL. Raiders couldn't provide it. The Saints will. Stability, excellence front office. Defense. Derek Carr's never had a good defense. Ever. Go ask Tom Brady about the Saints defense. It gave him fits. First day, last day in that division. The Saints have had a top 10 defense the last 3 years. He didn't always have to come from behind. He has more come from behind wins than any other quarterback in the NFL since he was drafted. Why? Because they're always giving up 28 and 30 points. It's the only way the Raiders can win, is a shootout. That's done. I would always, if I could, as a quarterback, choose an offensive head coach, but he knows Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen was with the Raiders before. There's familiarity when you go to a new city. That's a real thing. So I get it. Good defense finally, great front office finally, winning culture, stability. Now, if Aaron Rodgers retired this morning, Derek Carr is in a small group of best quarterback in the NFC. I get it. It's not what I predicted, but I get it. You're now entering the No Bull Zone, sponsored by Credible Great Rates, none of the bull. So for years, the New England Patriots were viewed as the smartest team in the NFL. On the field, off the field, during the season, off season. They were just smarter than everybody else. We never viewed them as the most talented team. Those Randy Moss teams actually never won a Super Bowl. Those were arguably the most talented teams, I thought. But they were always smart. The way they worked the cap, the way they didn't have to draft guys in the first or second round, but always had great offensive lines. Maybe now the Kansas City Chiefs have become that. So I've been banging on the Patriots for 3 years that they're tone deaf offensively. They have no sensibility. They don't get it. That was obviously clear last year when they made a defensive coordinator the offensive coordinator. Bill Belichick is all defense all the time, has no feel at all for offense. So Juju Smith-Schuster, the Pittsburgh Steelers, a stable organization that has always been willing, Mike Tomlin, to deal with some drama, AB, Big Ben for years, Le'Veon Bell. They bailed on Juju, the TikTok king. They bailed on him. Too silly, too immature. The Chiefs smartly said, well, you're talented. We'll bring you in for a 1-year deal. We won't pay you, but we'll give you a incentive-laden contract. Like $7.5 million was just incentives. $2.5 million was actual salary. Didn't pay him anything. What did he do? He was productive. He played with urgency. He was very good. So did the Chiefs re-sign him? Hell no. Let him walk. The Patriots stepped in to give him a 3-year deal. Silly, brand, loyal, TikTok, obsessed Juju Smith-Schuster. This is the kind of deal the Patriot fans would have laughed at years ago, other teams being the sucker. It was New England that would use a distracted player with talent for a year, get the most out of him, always move off guys right before they were a pain in the butt. The Chiefs use Juju, pay him nothing, all bonuses. He hits on a lot of them, then say, see you, great. We're gonna go draft guys that are really into football. And the suckers come roaring down the street in New England, totally out of touch offensively, and give distracted Juju Smith-Schuster. He can't separate. He's a number 3 receiver. That's what he is. But by the way, simultaneously letting go of their own player, undrafted Jacoby Myers. Numbers. Juju Smith-Schuster, that's with Andy Reid, a real offensive coordinator, and Patrick Mahomes, put up numbers that were identical to Jacoby Myers. And they bailed on Jacoby Myers, who did nothing but work hard, totally focused, not into TikTok, not into his brand, just into being a great NFL player. They bailed on that and signed the constantly, perpetually, habitually distracted Juju You laughed at them. You rolled your eyes. Suckers is what they were. When you look around the poker table and you can't find the mark, you're the mark. New England's now the mark at the poker table. Kansas City, as the culture has changed, totally in tune. They can bring rookies in, guys off the street. This year they won a Super Bowl with 3 receivers who were cast-offs from other teams and a rookie, Sky Moore. I mean, New England they are completely, utterly out of touch on offense, even with their own personnel. J-Mac with the news. Turn on the news!
It's kind of nice that someone besides the Jets is on the end of the jokes in the AFC East. I like taking some shots there. Calling Bill Belichick a mark?
You tell me.
He was acting like one. He acted like one of them man.
Jacoby Myers comes in, not making a nickel, all 3 years in a row, leading receiver. Not paying him a nickel. Hard work. He is the Patriot way. They bail on that because the kid's like, I want to get paid. And you're going to bring in
almost the same contracts. They're very similar. Very weird.
And by the way, Juju, that was with Mahomes, Travis Kelce next to him, and OC. Those are the numbers he produced.
Doesn't make sense. All right, let's start with this gentleman named Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, he has announced he wants to kind of play for the Jets. His intention is, but apparently the Raiders were in the mix for Aaron Rodgers. He said this on the YouTube show yesterday. I think there were other teams that were interested, and obviously there's certain players I have a lot of love and affinity for, Davante Adams, and reuniting with especially one specific person would have been special. I'm not mentioning any names, but there's definitely one particular guy. Him and I have this special unspoken rapport. If there's anybody that I wanted to put on a demand list, if you can incorporate any person across the league, it would be this specific person. He's obviously talking about Davante Adams and the Raiders. But Josh McDaniels and company went with Jimmy Garoppolo.
Aaron has said the list was nonsense. So, again, taking him at his word, I did homework on the list. Aaron did not put Mercedes Lewis on the list. Hackett did. So Hackett loves Mercedes Lewis. The homework I did is that anytime Mercedes Lewis's name ended up on a list, that was going to be more Hackett going to the Jets saying, get me that. OBJ... I've also been told that Aaron didn't make any demands on OBJ. He likes him, would love to have him. Hey, if you could find a space for him. But now, Alan Lazard, that was, Aaron wanted to bring one of his guys over. And Lazard, by the way, in fairness to Aaron wants to be comfortable with somebody. I mean, Brady brought over Gronk.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem.
Gronk was retired. Right. And he was able to lure him out.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Russell Wilson saying, hey, there's this one receiver, man. He's my guy. So I'm not going to beat up on Aaron for Alan Lazard. I think he's a very nice number 3 receiver. He's a big body. Alan's a nice player. I'd love to have him on my team. So I'm not going to beat up on Aaron. I'm going to be fair on this. Mercedes Lewis was not an Aaron demand. OBJ, from what I'm told, Aaron likes him, but it wasn't a demand. I do think Alan Lazard was something Aaron wanted, and the Jets said, hey, man, this is what we're going to go get for you. Because I do think Alan Lazard's a nice acquisition by the Jets. So I think he's a good player.
Yeah. So let me ask about the Raiders. They decided to go with a cheaper quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, who's going to be there for several years instead of a 1 year, maybe 2 year Band-Aid in Aaron Rodgers. What say you about that Raiders decision? Think before you speak, because you know who I'm talking about when I say Raiders. The Jets are opting for Aaron Rodgers over Carr, over Garoppolo. Continue.
So what are you saying?
Well, the Raiders decided we could have Aaron Rodgers for a year, or we could get Jimmy Garoppolo for multiple years. Somebody's going to be in our system. We know we can count on him. If things go sideways 1 year, hey, we got the next year. We're locked in. They didn't want it. No. By all accounts, he wanted to play with Davante Adams, and the Raiders, it sounds like, we're like, eh.
Well, I would have chosen Aaron Rodgers over Jimmy Garoppolo. Again, I think I am absolutely the fairest person in the American media on Aaron Rodgers. I'd vote him first ballot Hall of Fame. It doesn't bother me that he pushes back on media. I don't think the list, after doing homework, is entirely of Aaron Rodgers making. But I think he's deluded if he's surprised his words that Green Bay said, we're done with you out of the 8.5 weeks, 9 weeks of not giving them a heads up, stringing them along. then I think he's deluded and deserves massive criticism because those are his words. I'm 90% retirement, and I'm surprised they said we're done with you. Dude, you're deluded.
I wonder if Josh McDaniels said to his front office, hey, guys, I don't want a year of crazy, a year of distractions. We live in Vegas already, enough crazy around us. Let's go for safe, smart, reliable. Players love him. Let's go for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, we were surprised when Brady left New England how small the market was. So why are we surprised that Aaron Rodgers leaves how small the market is?
I mean, Brady was a little bit older, wasn't he? Like 30?
Like you got none of this distraction stuff, totally committed. Right. So what it's showing you is by the way, why are we surprised there's no market for Lamar Jackson? Seriously, everybody says, what about the market for Lamar Jackson? There wasn't a market for Brady. There wasn't a big market for Aaron Rodgers. There wasn't a big market for Lamar Jackson. Because in all three cases, there was stuff to be concerned about. Brady's age, Rodgers' commitment, and Lamar's injury.
Well, have you talked to your Colts people lately?
I talked to two GMs yesterday at length, and a head coach and a scouting director.
Because there are rumblings that the Colts are making some quiet salary cap moves, and there's some wonder, hey, we're not going to get the guy we want at the top of the draft. Maybe the Colts make a play here. I would just keep an eye on it. A low simmer on the back of the oven. Just keep an eye on maybe the Colts because they got no quarterback. They got nothing. They just dumped Matt Ryan. They're picking fourth, I believe.
Pretty good place to pick.
But we said yesterday the top two quarterbacks are going to be going. Maybe they get Stroud.
By the way, if you're picking 4, you're going to get either, in my opinion, because I think you're onto something, you're going to get C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young.
Well, what about Will Levis? Wouldn't Young go second to Houston?
I think Will Levis is talented, but I would take C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young over Will Levis. I would.
Would you draft C.J. Stroud or would you rather go for Lamar Jackson?
Well, I would rather have Lamar Jackson. Remember now, this is something to think about. I'm glad you brought this up. Bless you. Actually, I brought it up. So with Brady, Aaron, and Lamar, there appears to be kind of a smaller market than we would all think. They all had an issue: age, commitment, and injuries. But it also speaks to something. As football has become, this is sort of a reality of the league. As the NFL had to pay almost $1 billion for CTE and the concussions, the NFL has created a lot of safety measures. The game is now less violent, more offense, meaning the quarterbacks are more valuable, meaning the quarterbacks are now making what teams used to pay the entire roster, meaning Brady was expensive, Rodgers expensive, Lamar's expensive. As we've driven the price up for quarterbacks, if you don't have a Mahomes, and there's like one on the planet, teams now, I think, are thinking the Jason McIntyre theory, which is, hell with it. Let's just load our roster up and draft a quarterback every year until we find a Brock Purdy. Because it's very clear the only way to win Super Bowls in the NFL right now, last 10 years, you have a superstar quarterback, Brady Mahomes, or you have a loaded roster for a Jared Goff, a Jalen Hurts, a Brock Purdy. That ensures lots and lots of wins and a high probability of getting to a conference championship. What you can't have is an expensive 11th best quarterback in the league. And right now people are wondering, is Aaron a top 7 guy? No. Is Lamar? Injuries? No, because you got to consider injuries. If you're not available,
before he went down this season, before the injury, he was definitely top 7.
Okay. He went down this season. Let's live in the real world. Let's live in the real world. Aaron hasn't been fully committed. He's now 39. So there's only 2 ways to consistently win a Super Bowl or get there. Superstar, Mahomes, Brady, or don't pay your quarterback anything. He has to be pretty good, and then you